We have quite a packed agenda today and not a ton of time, but we do want to make sure that we answer questions and that we communicate everyone's needs. So we'll definitely be following up with you if you have questions and we're not able to get to those today. And then as far as our agenda goes, we'll go through some brief introductions, and then I'm going to go through kind of a high-level history of MKE Elevate, more so just so that everyone's on the same page of what we've been doing over the last few months and 2022 leading into 2023, and then where we're at now and kind of grounding us into what we'll be doing today. And then Amanda is going to lead us through a breakout activity around setting goals and objectives for the built environment. And then we'll be closing and kind of giving you some updates about things to look forward to moving forward and just next steps for this group and making sure we're all on the same page. So as for introductions, I will start off. We'll be doing going through our name, your role, organization that you might represent, and then one word that stood out to you from the Jamboard activity that we just completed. So I will go first. My name is Hannah Tracer. I'm a public health strategist at the City of Milwaukee Health Department, focusing on food systems. And you need to navigate to the Jamboard. There's a lot of wonderful things. Green space stood out to me. And then I will let Amanda Richmond introduce herself.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Amanda Richmond. I'm a public health strategist with the health department, and I focus on housing and economic security. And one word that stood out to me is equitable.
And then I am just going to go through and call on each of you. And if you are able to introduce yourself out loud, that's wonderful. If not, you're more than welcome to type it in the chat. So I have Anita first.
Hi, my name is Anita Garrett. I'm a Food Leaders Lab ambassador for Feeding America and a volunteer at West Care Community. The word that stuck out to me is, I don't see nothing. Everything. Okay.
I love that. Thank you. And then I have Alexandria next.
Me, right?
Yes.
I didn't know if you meant me or Alexandria. Okay. So my name's Alexandra, but I go by Lexi. I'm interning at the health department under public health strategist Courtney Geiger, and she specializes in substance misuse and harm reduction. And so, yeah, I'm just kind of helping her out with all of her different activities. And the word that stuck out to me was inclusive.
And then next I have Allison.
Hi, everyone. My name is Allison Antoine. I am with the Wisconsin Cancer Collaborative, so we're our state's cancer coalition. The word that stands out to me, I think, is safe or safety.
Thank you. I have Annika.
Hi, good morning. I'm a public health strategist also with the Milwaukee Health Department, working with all of the MKE Elevate action teams, as well as doing some quality improvement and accreditation work. The word that stands out to me is accessible.
And then next I have Claire.
Hi, everyone. My name is Claire. I am with the Wisconsin Women's Health Foundation, and I am a facilitator for a project working on reducing lung and breast cancer disparities in Wisconsin. And the word that sticks out to me is also accessible or access.
Thank you. Next, I see Cordella.
Hi, everyone. My name is Cordella Jones, and I'm actually wrapping up my fellowship in the Department of City Development as a FUSE Executive Fellow. And I missed the exercise, but I think it was just pick a postie. So safe and accessible housing is the work that I've been in. I'm working with a strategic affordability plan for Milwaukee. So that's where I'm going to land on.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing. Next, I see Danielle.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Danielle. I work mostly in our local food system, both through my work at Extension and then also as a board member at the Milwaukee Food Council. And I like the word community.
Thank you. Next, I see Danica.
Hi, I am Danica Hill-Paulus. I am an environmental health specialist with the Milwaukee Health Department. And I'd say the phrase that sticks out to me is healthy homes, safe and healthy homes.
Next, I see Kaylee.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kaylee. I work with the YWCA Southeastern Wisconsin on the same project that Claire does, working to eliminate breast cancer disparities. And the word that stands out to me is accessible.
Wonderful. Next, I see Karen.
Hi, everybody. I'm Karen Lemke. I'm a consultant working on just transition climate solutions. I'm interested in relocalizing food systems and SNAP EBT benefits and getting veggies in bellies. And the word that is leaping out to me is design, and as in design and redesign and redesign and redesign.
Thank you. Next is Kristen.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kristen Reed, Operations Director with the Department of Neighborhood Services. We're the building inspectors. I think the word that stands out to me the most was community-led.
Wonderful. Next, I have Mark.
Hi, everyone. Mark Majacki, a data and evaluation coordinator with the City of Milwaukee Health Department. And I specifically help some of our environmental health programs at the city. And I also would like to highlight community as an important word.
Thank you. Then I have Meg.
Hi, everyone. Meg Kilkenny. I work for Extension Milwaukee County with the Food Wise program. I think I would agree with some others in saying that accessible is sticking out to me. So accessibility across the board.
And then I have Melissa.
Hi, everyone. I am Melissa Seidel. I am yet another public health strategist with the health department. I focus on maternal and child health and will be hosting my own meeting like this later. So I wanted to see a practice run for myself. And I think the words that stick out to me are both accessible and aesthetic, because we can have both.
Wonderful. And then Mia.
Hi, folks. My name is Mia Rudolph Schulte. I am with the City of Milwaukee's Environmental Collaboration Office. I'm a program coordinator there. I believe the word that's sticking out the most to me right now is probably cohesive. Yeah.
Thank you. And then Nancy.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nancy. I am the Resilient Communities Program Director with Clean Wisconsin. And the word that's out to me, in addition to community-led / driven, would be safe and healthy homes and environments.
Wonderful. Then I have Robert.
Yes, good afternoon. Good morning / good almost afternoon. Robert Walker, public health strategy with the City of Milwaukee Health Department. My focus is on mental health and community resiliency, but in this case, my interest is with housing and housing security.
And then Stephanie.
Hi, everybody. I'm Stephanie Harling. I run the Haven Woods Neighborhood Partnership and the Business Improvement District and the Billard Avenue Business Improvement District. And the word that probably, because we struggle with this in our own neighborhoods, is probably equity stands out.
Thank you. And then Zach.
Hi, everybody. Zach Wilkes-Mitru with American Heart Association. I am Community Impact Director over here. The word that's sticking out to me, and it sounds like a lot of other people, is accessible.
Wonderful. And then Leanne.
Hi, everybody. I'm Leanne Hanrahan. I am on the board of directors for The Gathering. And just like most of you, the word that stood out to me is accessible.
Wonderful. And then anyone I may have missed. I want to make sure I capture everyone. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for introducing yourselves. We do have one more person I want to introduce you to, and this will lead into our next portion of our meeting, but we have a new health strategist on our team, Alex, and wanted to give her opportunity to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alex Cohn, and I'm a new public health strategist focusing on health equity. And so my role in the MKE Elevate is helping the steering committee make sure that our overarching goal of leading this process that is rooted in health equity and is at the forefront. So I get to work with all action teams and making sure equity is incorporated in what we do. So thank you.
Thank you, Alex. And we're really excited to have her on our health strategy team. So we can navigate to the next slide, please. So I wanted, before we jumped into talking specifically about built environment, I wanted to give an overview of, brief overview of MKE Elevate, just so that we are on the same page on where we're at today. And we use a lot of different words to describe our 5-year plan. So I want to make sure I talk about all of them, and then we're all on the same page when we're describing our plan, what we're referring to. So we've branded our community health improvement plan, which you'll often see as CHIP, or we refer to as the CHIP process, and we call it MKE Elevate, with a vision to support safe and healthy neighborhoods. So the CHIP is a 5-year plan that's intended to serve as a vision for the health of the community and a framework for individuals and organizations to leverage resources, build partnerships, and identify their own priorities and strategies that can align with these efforts and really help elevate the health of the Milwaukee community. The CHIP, or this plan, was designed to complement and build upon other guiding documents, other plans, initiatives, and coalitions that are already in place. So as you can see on this circle, and as we've shared, some of you may have already seen this graphic, but the 3 main priorities that rose to the top throughout this process are maternal and child health, safety and violence prevention, and then the built environment, which is why all of us are here today. So before I dive into a few details about the built environment and our action teams, I just want to provide a brief background on the CHIP process throughout the summertime and how we reached where we are today. So next slide, please. Wonderful. So we have a nice visual timeline on the left, and then just a few key points on the right of different activities that we completed throughout 2022 and then in the beginning of 2023. So this whole process really begins with identifying community partners, analyzing data through a community health assessment, and then presenting that data to community. So in the summertime, we spent doing a lot of community engagement and having individuals that live, work, play in Milwaukee to take a priority issue survey. So essentially identifying the top 5 priorities that they wanted the health department to focus on, or that were most important to them, their neighborhood, their community. So we were at about over 40 events, including festivals, farmers markets, neighborhood pop-up events, etc. In addition to that, we also launched a photo voice campaign. So asking residents to share pictures of what makes Milwaukee healthy or unhealthy. And then in the fall, we had community meetings to share our community health assessment data, as well as just community data in general, and also share what we had done in the summertime. And it really helped us move from that preparation phase into more of that planning phase, so that we could start identifying priorities and come together to take action. So then moving to the winter, we compiled our community health data, the community feedback and insights to inform our top priorities for our next 5-year CHIP MK Elevate plan. So again, which are maternal and child health, safety and violence prevention, and then built environment, like I mentioned earlier. So all of that to say what brings us here today. And so we're at the stage now where we have been identifying implementation partners, setting strategies, goals, and really identifying objectives related to these top 3 overarching priorities. So specifically for today, we really view this meeting as an introductory meeting to really start thinking about what a healthy built environment could look like for Milwaukee. And so after today, we will plan to take notes on all the feedback and wonderful ideas that people share, and then we'll draft a plan with all of those ideas, and then we'll plan to send them out to all of you for feedback, reactions, as well as next steps and what this looks like moving forward. And just a few things as far as looking forward goes, we'll then release our final CHIP plan by the end of March. And then in the spring, and starting now, we'll begin formalizing action team membership and start holding quarterly meetings so that we really can start to take action. I know that was a lot of information, and if you have questions, please put them in the chat. And hopefully as we continue through our meeting today, we can provide more clarity on all of those details too. So next, I just wanted to provide a high-level overview of roles. So we can go to the next slide. Thank you. And something that we will definitely spend more time diving deeper into moving forward, but I just wanted to provide a little context for this meeting just so that we can continue thinking about our roles moving forward. So on the left-hand side, you can see that graphic of the role of the health department. So really in this process, it's to share local public health data, convene community partners like yourselves to identify top health priorities and actionable strategies for community level change. We really serve as the facilitator, convener, coordinator, bringing diverse individuals and groups together and aligning existing plans and strategies and really trying to fill those gaps by developing new plans and strategies as needed. And then for action team members and just the action team in general, the purpose is to convene a broad set of partners who make up the public health system, who take ownership of the objectives and strategies within the CHIP plan, and who are passionate and action-oriented about dismantling systems, structures, and barriers that contribute to health disparities in Milwaukee. And this is all alongside the health department and those of us on the meeting today that we're really working together to implement strategies and goals and objectives within our plan and contribute to ongoing evaluation and ongoing monitoring. Additionally, within our action teams and within our network, we're really hopeful to share updates on implementation progress, any upcoming events that are going on that we can help support each other on, and just really overall aligning all of the work that we're doing and participating in potentially advocacy campaigns, et cetera. So as we work together to envision what our specific goals and strategies can be, I just really want to emphasize the importance of asking ourselves and reminding ourselves what can be achievable in 5 years. I think all of us have wonderful big goals, and that doesn't mean that we shouldn't shoot for those, but I think within this space, really remembering when we're making our specific objectives that we're thinking about 5 years. And then next slide, please. Thanks. So just a few key data points I wanted to share. I'm not going to go too much in detail for today, but I just wanted to make sure that we have the same understanding of issues that we'll be discussing today. And again, this is helping us to identify those realistic 5-year targets and goals. So I just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page as far as these key data points. So as you can see on the screen, for housing, 21% of households in Milwaukee County experience at least one severe housing problem. And for lead, 133,858 houses in the city were built before the 1978 lead paint ban. As far as internet access, Milwaukee residents with an internet subscription increased to 81.4% over the past 5 years, but significant disparities remain, as that percentage is as low as 60 to 70% in certain zip codes. For food, 11.8% of the population living in Milwaukee County experienced food security in 2020. And then for transportation, Milwaukee has a walkability score of 62.7 compared to an average 41.3 across other city health disparity cities, but this really varies greatly across different neighborhoods. So really focusing hyper locally or neighborhood level, it's quite a difference. So if there are questions about these key data points, we can definitely share and talk more about these moving forward. Next slide, please. Thank you. So then I wanted to orientate us a bit as we transition next into our activity. But before we do, based on the subtopic area of interest that you entered in the chat at the beginning of the meeting, we'll be breaking out into groups for a brainstorming activity. And so before we begin that activity, we wanted to share where we were at as far as these 3 subtopics goes. So housing, food, and transportation. And we would really appreciate your feedback as far as, is there general consensus and agreement that these 3 overarching subtopics cover the majority of issues and ideas and initiatives that are going on within the built environment? So anything that we're missing, do they encompass the main areas that make up the built environment? And of course, the examples within each one are just a few examples. They definitely do not encompass everything, but just to get us thinking creatively on how we can bucket these subtopics within the built environment. And so we would love your feedback on what could be added or missing. So you can take a few moments to reflect, read through those examples, and then we'll be launching a poll just to get general consensus on how we can go about these different subtopics. So feel free to take a moment. Starting to see some responses in the poll. So as of now, I'll give it some more time. It's changing. Okay. So as of now, we have about 70% of people agree with these 3. About 6% do not agree or believe that there could be a change, something added. And then there's about 25% that are unsure, and that might need more information going through a group activity. And something to know with this too is that I think through our group activity and through feedback that we receive at this meeting, this can definitely shift and change. But I think for the nature of our meeting, we'll still gather into these groups and we can have deeper discussion within those groups and moving forward. Okay, so I think we can transition to start talking about our activity.
Awesome. Thank you, Hannah. So now, as Hannah mentioned, we're going to spend some time in breakout groups. So we're going to divide into 3 groups. Each group will focus on one of the topics we've talked about: housing, transportation, and food access. So you will be able to select which group that you want to go to based on what you're most interested in. We just ask that we try and keep the groups a little bit even. So if something is your second choice, but you see that not a lot of people are going to that, we would welcome you to try and even out the groups a bit. So the first group, group 1, I'm going to be facilitating, and that'll be focused on housing. So if you're interested in that, and Hannah will drop in the chat these instructions. So group 1, so if you're interested in housing, you're going to join breakout group 1. If you're interested in food, you're going to join breakout group 2, and Hannah will facilitate that conversation. And if you're most interested in transportation, then you're going to go into the 3rd breakout group with Alex. And so this is also in the chat. While we're in these groups, we're going to have some time to do some individual brainstorming, responding to the question, what changes could we make to the built environment over the next 5 years to improve the health of Milwaukeeans? So we're going to spend the first 5 minutes putting some individual thought into answering that, and you'll fill out the sticky notes on the Jamboard with your responses to that question. And then once everyone has had some time to think about that, we're going to get back together and identify the top, to come to consensus around the top 5 priorities in that area that we'd want to focus on for the next 5 years. And so the Hannah, Alex, and I will guide you through this conversation in our breakout groups, but we'll be in these groups for about 25 minutes. Are there any questions before we jump out? Okay, awesome. Then I think Alex should open up the breakout groups, and we welcome people to join one of the 3 based on the topics. All right, welcome back, everyone. So now we're just gonna, I'd quickly love to hear the top 5 priorities that each group discussed. So I'll share the Jamboard. I hope you had great conversations. So we can start with the housing group. I know for our group, Kristen had volunteered to share out a summary of our top priorities. So Kristen, would you share?
I will, thank you. So a lot of what we kind of focused on was the housing stock and advocating and education for folks. Obviously, a lot of renters don't necessarily understand, one, that their conditions should be safe and habitable, and educating them as far as that goes, as well as what their rights are as tenants. Additionally, focusing a little bit on the evictions, what happens, can we get more time to allow them to figure out where they need to go? There's a delicate balance there, but trying to work with that. Additionally, just improving that existing housing stock. It was suggested to kind of expand DNS's capacity, and then increasing preventative programs. So again, just that education for either homeowners or renters, things like that. Intergenerational considerations falls to a lot of times folks, as was said in our meeting, brown folks and Black folks don't necessarily have that intergenerational wealth that gets passed on. So kind of working with them to help facilitate that. We also think making more pathways to home ownership, because as you have folks that are stakeholders within their community, most times they're more engaged and more willing to help kind of stand up against the bad things that are going on. We talked about the connection that folks choose to live near where their children go to school, but that may not always necessarily be the best area, and how we can help facilitate that and make that better. And then just continuing those relationships with leadership and decision makers, and going from there to try and make sure everybody's on the same page.
Awesome, thank you. Does someone from the food group want to share their top priorities?
I offered to kind of speak about our top priorities just because we had a really engaging discussion. It was pretty challenging and as I'm sure all of you experienced in such a short period of time, to hone it down to 5. So our conversation, we more just had about like themes that emerged from all of our different priorities, and then had some just really wonderful discussion about like urgency and what would be top of mind within 5 years, but ideally within, this year, as we know that pandemic EBT, for example, is ending. And so really naming that and calling that out as a priority. Something else that we talked about as well as urgency goes is, climate change, food supply chains, and food costs. And that is definitely connected with inflation and whatnot. We had a lot of really good discussion about school systems, specifically the school lunch policy. And then, accessibility is pretty broad, but we had some specific conversations about accessibility for disabled and older adults, as well as neighborhood walkability, and how we can walk and access our food. And then talked a bit about community hubs and community ownership. If anyone else from the food group would like to add any other comments, please do.
Thank you. All right, and then does someone from the transportation group want to share?
I can share for our group if no one else would want to. I forgot, unless anyone else. Okay, so could you go 2 more slides over? Sorry. So we kind of, so we had 3. So I do apologize. I know we're supposed to get to 5, but I do think that, so our first one was to improve pedestrian and biker safety. Our next one was to address equity and access of recreational and green spaces in under-resourced areas in Milwaukee, such as like bike paths and things of that nature. And then our third one was to improve our multimodal systems to be affordable and accessible and connect Milwaukeeans to the greater Milwaukee.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. So these Jamboards will still be open, so you can have time to continue to reflect on those and add any additional ideas. We're going to work on cleaning these up and making sure that we capture everything that was discussed here, and then any additional ideas that folks have over the next few weeks, so we can create final goals and objectives for this topic area, and would love to continue the conversation as folks wish. I also want to put in a quick plug that we are looking for a co-chair to help us facilitate and guide the direction of this action team. So if you are interested in doing that, please respond to our follow-up email, reach out to me or Hannah, or let us know in the chat right now. So this person would really help us facilitate future action team meetings, invite other people to participate, and really help us guide the direction and all of our work together. So please reach out if you're interested. We'll also be, we'll send a follow-up email with all of this information, but we're planning to have a second meeting sometime in May to start a schedule of quarterly meetings. At that next meeting, we'll really dig down into setting some more measures and targets for the goals that we want to achieve, and dividing up which people or organizations will really be the lead on accomplishing which strategies as decided here today. Hannah, is there anything else you want to add about future opportunities to participate?
No, I don't think so. I think, like I had mentioned before, in following up and sharing everything that we talked about today and feedback that we received, we would definitely encourage others that have events coming up, or ways that we can engage with each other in different spaces to work on all of these priorities within the built environment, or in general, to feel free to share engagements or other ways that we can all support each other's work. I just really want to thank everyone for showing up today, and we really appreciate your time and the energy that you brought. We're just really excited to work with you all. So thank you so much.
Make all of these ideas happen.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thank
Have a
you.
great rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, stay safe. Bye.